Love lifts us up where we belong. Where eagles fly on a mountain high. Hello, guys.
Did you want me to finish that?
I literally, the entire time we were setting this up, I was like, that's how I'm going to start it. I was like, I know it. This is what I'm going to do. And I just wanted to see your reaction. You didn't disappoint. Thank you for that. Welcome to the Hardly Millennial podcast, everybody. Episode 109, where we are young, dumb, and full of
opinions.
Opinions, ladies and gentlemen. So we're trying to all survive this quarantine.
Yeah, just one day at a time.
Oh my god.
Best way we can. For me, I've been making a shit ton of TikToks.
Yes. A lot of TikToks.
They've just been keeping me busy, man. like I make the goofiest, I don't keep on a trend or anything.
Right.
I make the goofiest crap, or just the dumbest stuff sometimes. Or I just try some weird artistic stuff sometimes just to see how it works.
You're definitely better at coming up with ideas for TikToks than I am.
But yet you're the one, you got twice as many followers as I do. So I don't know what that says.
I literally only have the followers I have though, because I made this one just really quick, dumb, stupid TikTok a month ago. And the TikTok was, oh wow, I'm talking very loud. Sorry. And the TikTok was, well, I guess a little bit of context here. So my For You page was, do I have to explain what TikTok is and how it works to people?
I don't know. I feel like enough people should know, but
I'll try to do it fast. So
yeah, maybe just do brief description.
Okay. So TikTok is like Vine. And if you don't know what Vine is, I'm not going to take the time to explain that to you. You just make these tiny little videos and you edit them. A lot of people do lip sync, shit like that, with songs, movies, what have you. And there's two different pages you can go on. Your following, so you can look at all the videos or the people you're following or posting, and then there's a For You page. So if the algorithm for TikTok thinks that somebody's video, or thinks that you'll be interested in somebody's video, it'll pop up on your For You page. So on my For You page, I was getting a lot of Star Wars stuff. It was every other one was something Star Wars, which is fine. I like Star Wars and everything, but I like other things too. And I like Harry Potter a lot more than I like Star Wars. So I made some stupid little post of me dressed up in Harry Potter gear, and I had a fucking a wand that we got from Universal Studios. And I just put the Harry Potter music in the background, and I just was I made a comment of there's all these Star Wars posts and I'm over here just waiting for the Harry Potter shit. And then it just fucking boom.
That was the one.
So now I keep getting all these followers and likes and everything, but it's literally all because of that post. Every day I get notifications of people either commenting on that post or what have you. So I'm very curious if I did not have that post, where I would be right now in the TikTok game.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's an interesting app, but yeah, it's just a fun way to pass the time though. I'm just always thinking of the dumb crap I can do. Literally, that I'm sitting around the house watching TV, and you'll see me. I'll spring up. I'll come up with an idea.
I always know too, because he'll always get up and I'll be like, "You're gonna make a TikTok, aren't you?" He's like, "Yeah." And then he'll be in his room for 10, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, and then he'll come out and be like, "Watch this."
Bro, some of them take some time. I do ones where I coordinate the music with handstand stuff.
I was gonna say you do a lot of workout stuff.
Yeah, not a ton of it. I do a lot of the lip sync videos, and I do a lot of the workout stuff just because I enjoy the doing the handstands and the workout challenges. And it's I don't know, fun way of working out to me. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of those, but those will sometimes take me so long. And
yeah, I know you'll be back there for a while.
Yeah, because I'll be in my room for an hour, and I'm doing so many handstands just trying to get this video right. And the video usually doesn't come out how I pictured it in the beginning, because at the beginning I had a lot more energy. But yeah, I've been enjoying the TikTok game. It's been just fun way to pass the time during quarantine.
Yeah.
I guarantee you see TikTok will slow down once quarantine is lifted, but
I disagree. I think it's going to speed up.
You think it's going to speed up?
Well, so what I think is going to happen is, like, if anything, I think it's slowed down since quarantine has started, because what's happening is I think a lot of people are wanting to swipe through TikTok, but nobody's really willing to take the time to like make a TikTok. So like, for example, some of the more infamous TikTokers that I follow, you know, who used to do a lot of these like, I don't know how you would describe them. I guess just the trendy videos that are on TikTok. You know, I'm talking about like all the e-girl, e-boy type of like TikTokers that are out there. And like before the quarantine, I saw a lot of content from them. But I think a lot of that content was because they were able to go out and do things and meet with people and stuff like that. Whereas like now a lot of their content is literally them, you know, wearing like hoodies and, you know, just lounge around clothes and basically just talking to the camera, vlogging, you know, on TikTok. So I think people are actually, I think it's slowing down because of quarantine. And then I think it's going to launch back up once quarantine is over.
Yeah, I've talked to people on TikTok, and they all seem to have the same consensus that they're running out of ideas, and things to do. I see a lot of even the big TikTokers redoing, you know, certain
stuff
ones.
they did before,
stuff they've done, or they're reposting. Just people running out of stuff to do when they can't really go out.
One thing that does bother me with some TikTokers is there are some that focus too much on a niche, right?
Yeah.
So like, for example, there's one girl that you and I follow who's I can't remember her name, but she's this redhead that you and I follow, but she always does the same fucking sound bite.
Alley Cat.
Yeah, her. But she does that. What do you remember how it goes? Because I can't remember how it goes. God, what is it?
I love my daddy. My superhero.
There you go. It's that one. So there's this little soundbite of this like little kid saying exactly what Thomas just did.
I love my daddy. My superhero.
Yeah. And this girl, for whatever reason, just like every fucking TikTok she does is like with that sound. I mean, not to say she doesn't do other stuff.
She even made a compilation video of every time she's done that sound.
Did she really?
She did.
Oh my God.
So she's very aware, like how much.
Then there's another girl who I follow, or I don't follow her, but she shows up on my For You page a lot. And you know, and the first time I saw her, it was like these like Rey posts, like Rey from Star Wars. You know, she was cosplaying as her.
I know the girl you're talking about.
You know, and I was like, oh, okay, cool.
This girl does resemble Daisy Ridley.
She does
quite a bit.
But here's the thing, though.
In her defense,
like I thought it was, but my point though is when I was on her page and everything, I noticed that like every single, even when she does lip syncs of other things that aren't Star Wars, if you read her like comments, it's like Rey saying this to Han Solo, or Rey saying this to Finn.
She's gonna eventually get through all the lines Rey has in that movie, and she's gonna run out of things to do. she's gonna be like, "What now?" She's gonna have to wait until the Rey movie comes out. Like she's gonna need more material.
Oh my God, I could see them doing that. I could see Disney fucking
absolutely.
some shit.
No, they left it open. I mean, all right. So if you haven't seen it already, it's already out. So anyway,
yeah, did we talk about Rise of Skywalker the last time?
Did we? I feel like we did.
Oh, okay. So a little story here. So we did a podcast a few weeks ago that never got posted because one, we were having issues with editing, and two, Thomas and I just didn't like the fucking podcast.
Yeah.
That's why it's taken a month for us to do one, because like we were trying to get guests, you know, but people are busy and there's quarantine and shit like that. And then it was just trying to figure out things to talk about that weren't the same shit we've been talking about.
Yeah, it's just we've been just going through some ruts with quarantine, which I'm sure everyone's going through their little ruts as well.
Yeah. But the reason why I brought that up is because I think we talked about it on that podcast that never got posted. Yeah. But anyways, so we finally did watch Rise of Skywalker. I finally watched Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, I saw it when it came out.
And I thought it was shit.
Yeah, it's
I'm sorry, but it was
not great.
It was.
No, it's already like, and you know, it just, yeah. I don't even know where to go with the Star Wars. It's I'm just glad that trilogy is done, and now we can move on, and they can do something else. Like I said with Rey or Ryan, the rumor has been, on IMDb that Rian Johnson has a trilogy set in motion to follow the Grey Jedi.
But at the same time, I don't know if that's gonna, because look, I loved The Last Jedi. I thought it was the best movie of the new Star Wars trilogy. I know. I mean, you agree with me, don't you?
What?
Wasn't that opinion of yours also that you like what is your favorite movie in the new trilogy?
The new trilogy?
Yeah.
The Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi. Okay.
Rian Johnson, I liked what he did.
Okay, so you and I are in the minority then, as far as that's concerned.
Yeah, we're definitely in the minority there.
But so because we're in the minority, I have to wonder if Disney is going to pull the plug, or at least get rid of Rian Johnson doing that particular trilogy, because a lot of people were pissed off at him for what he did with Star Wars.
I also heard they're getting rid of Kathleen Kennedy.
Oh, that's right. She's the front. Explain to people who Kathleen Kennedy is.
She is the president of Lucasfilm or Star. I don't know. I don't know where her exact job title is. Okay, but I know she's like the head honcho of Star Wars.
Right.
She's the head lady. What her exact job title is, I don't know. But anyone who knows anything about Star Wars knows Kathleen Kennedy and knows who she is.
Right.
But anyway, I hear she's either stepping down or got fired or something. Either way, she will
probably
not
because
be
she
involved.
hired J.J. Abrams to do the last movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I think because it wasn't as successful as they would have hoped, or maybe she's just tired of the stress of it. It could be a number of things. Either way, I think we're going to get new leadership, and I'm curious what that will bring with all the new Star Wars shows and movies and whatnot coming out.
I am curious, because I talked to a lot of diehard Star Wars fans, and a lot of people loved The Rise of Skywalker, and they loved, spoiler, go fucking watch it, it's been out for a while, of Rey being Palpatine's granddaughter and shit, and everybody was like all for that. I'm like, why? Like, I'm just pissed off that they brought him back, period.
Yeah.
You had J.J. Abrams that set up a story. Then Rian Johnson was like, I don't like that. We're going to change some shit here. And then when they brought J.J. Abrams back, J.J. Abrams was like, you know what? We're going to try to continue with the shit that I wanted to do originally. Even though the story already has gone past that. Yeah. Like, it's just lazy filmmaking, in my opinion. Yeah. But I've never been a J.J. Abrams fan, so.
I just don't like that. I felt like there was just like this battle going on between Abrams and Johnson.
Yeah.
Like Johnson did whatever he could to like steer the movies in a new direction from just being like remakes of the old trilogy.
And then J.J. Abrams was like, no.
Yeah, and then J.J. Abrams literally came in and tried to redo everything that Johnson undid. So he goes, he broke apart Kylo's mask. All right, well, I'm gonna weld it back together. He took away Snoke. Well, I'm just gonna bring back Palpatine. All right, you're gonna I don't know. I could probably think of more examples, but the point is, it just felt like a battle between directors.
Yeah.
And didn't feel like anyone was actually trying to make a movie for the fans except for Johnson. Was like, let's steer this in a new directions. Let's see what we can do with it. And then they brought back Abrams, and Abrams was like, well, this is what I had originally planned for it, so I'm just going to go back to that.
Yeah, exactly.
And it just turned out to be crap. And then you just threw in a bunch of like cameos with the OGs, and and then C-3PO loses his mind, and then all of a sudden he's like, nobody has a backup. They were like, nobody has a backup. Yes. R2 doesn't have a backup. They were clear. He goes, R2 doesn't have a backup. So we were all like, oh man, he really doesn't have his memory. Then R2 doesn't have a backup. And then later on, R2 had a backup.
Well, and that's the thing. There were so many
what?
There were so many like potential shock factors in there that they just, like you said, like, Chewbacca's dead. Oh, no, he's not. Poe's friend from that planet is dead now. Oh, no, she's not. Or what you're saying about C-3PO. Oh, C-3PO is going to lose his mind. Oh, no, he's not.
Yeah.
It's like there was no risk.
Yeah.
And then you the movie is called Rise of Skywalker. You kill off fucking Kylo Ren, the only fucking Skywalker. And I get it. I get it that Rey is not a bad person, right? And she admits, she was like, I identify as a Skywalker at the end of it. But guess what? She's still Palpatine's daughter. You made fucking 9 movies and Palpatine fucking won.
Yep.
Sorry, but he did.
Yep.
Palpatine fucking won. That is what J.J. Abrams did to Star Wars. Like,
just the fact that they brought him back.
Dude, it was just like, dumb. Yeah, I'm sorry. Or the part I fucking laughed at the most was that stupid fucking knife that matched with the protractor that matched the wreckage
that just
of the Death
to match
Star
up with the wreckage from the Death Star, because it just knew. They just knew exactly what that wreckage was going to look like from a certain angle, and that's how they welded it.
And I also didn't get any fucking lightsaber battle. I wanted a fucking epic lightsaber battle.
The best one you had was when they were on the ship or on the Death. Were they on the Death Star in the middle of the water? Is that where they were fighting?
The wreckage, yeah.
Yeah, the wreckage, yeah. And that was like the best you got, but
it was nothing.
And that still wasn't like nothing. Like honestly, the prequels still have, like Phantom, Clone Wars, and Revenge of the Sith still have the best lightsaber battles.
And you know what? I was almost totally cool not having like the crazy lightsaber battles in the Last Jedi or the Force Awakens. I know some people are gonna be like, but what about the throne room? I'm sorry, but that was a shitty fucking fight. I don't know why people hold that fight in such fucking regards. It was lazy, it was boring. Yeah. Like, so
I wasn't about it either.
So I was like, okay, well, we didn't get one in these movies, but okay, that's not Star Wars' thing. We're not all about the lightsabers. There's other shit going on. Okay, I get that. And then, so down, I'm like, okay, the 9th one, though, we have to have one. There has to fucking be one. And then they did the stupid little battle between Rey and Kylo Ren on the wreckage. And then that was it. And it wasn't even that. It was like, it felt like I was watching 2 kids with the fucking lightsabers from Toys R Us. And it felt like I was watching 2 kids like pretend lightsaber battle.
I've never felt like Abrams ever had good, fights in any of his movies.
You know what?
Not in any of them. When I think back to the Star Trek movies, it's like any fight scene he had, it just lacked something. Like I'm thinking back to the first Star Trek, where Kirk is fighting on the enemy ship. I forget the names.
Romulans?
The Romulans. Yeah, he's on the Romulan ship. And he's fighting, and I just remember watching it too and just thinking, like, I was like getting tired. I was like, I'm a little bored. So when I think back to even his previous movies like that, I'm like, I just don't feel like he does well with the action scenes.
I don't ever understand why. Like, there were some people that put J.J. Abrams in such high regard, and like he's even done TED Talks and like about filmmaking specifically and shit like that. And I don't get it. And everybody goes back to Lost, and I get that, but guess what? There were 3 people who created Lost. He was one of those 3 people, and he directed the pilot episode. That was it.
If I were to give him anything, it's not that even I like him as a director and I'm a fan of his work. The only thing I'd give him is the guy has to probably be good at managing a set. The guy's managed a lot of big films, a lot of big projects, and he's probably just like really good to work with, and that's probably why he gets in this high regard. Not because he necessarily produces great work, but he's good at producing the work. Okay. If that makes sense. Yeah. If I were to give him any credit, that's just what it would be. I have to assume that the guy is just like good at working his way around a set and good at managing. It's like someone being a good manager of a crappy store. You didn't make the store any less crappy, but it didn't fall apart either. I feel that's how I feel about J.J. Abrams.
And I'll go ahead and actually give him this too. J.J. Abrams is because I've seen a lot of directors fuck this up. Most directors fuck this up. J.J. Abrams is really good about taking something that already exists, remaking it, but keeping the feel of it. So when he made the Star Trek remakes, it still felt like Star Trek to me. When he made the Force Awakens, it still felt like Star Wars to me. You know, like he made the point to do like the puppetry and shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so
like we were afraid that Star Wars was going to feel like Star Trek because he already did that.
Yes.
But he did do a good job differentiating
exactly,
those two.
you know? So he's really good about keeping the same, like, atmosphere, the same feeling, you know, that the same aesthetic is the better word for it, the same aesthetic that a previous franchise had. He's really good about bringing that back and keeping that. And I'm sure that's why they gave him Star Wars 2, because I'm sure they recognized that in Star Trek. Oh, sorry. We just heard a bang. And because of my headphones, I thought it was like thunder or something. And I was like, it's fucking bright out. I don't know what the fuck that is. But yeah, I don't know. He's just, like I said, he's just one of those directors that I feel like he's just one of those people that I think people put into high regards. And I just don't ever really understand why. He's just never produced anything that's super wow to me, you know?
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, I don't really see it too much when I'm thinking back to any of his work. He was never really someone that wowed me, but I do recognize that he did a good job at just managing a big project.
Yeah.
It's like he's just a good project manager. He's just not good at coming up with the project.
That's true. but it's interesting though, the subjectiveness of art. There's a director, my favorite director, I have two, but one of my favorite directors is Darren Aronofsky. And those who don't know who Darren Aronofsky is, he did Requiem for a Dream, Mother, Noah, Black Swan's probably the obvious one everyone knows, or The Wrestler. So he's done some, you know, some credible, notable movies, and you know, Oscar-winning movies, or at least nominated. I don't know if they're winners, but nominated. But anyways, but what I've been learning recently is critics really do not like Aronofsky's films. And a lot of people actually don't like Aronofsky's films, which is wild to me because, like I said, he's one of my fucking favorite directors. But like I've read a couple different little little BuzzFeed-esque articles that are like, you know, here's a list of the movies people say they've walked out on and why they walked out on it. And oh, hello, cat. And one of those, like I read one yesterday that said that people walked out of his film Noah, you know, which is one of my favorite films by him. There's also, I can't remember what the company is, but apparently there's this like critic company that's only, it gives like films an A to F rating, and they've only given like 20 films in history Fs, and Mother was one of the films that they gave an F to, you know, and like I said,
I could kind of see why though. It's definitely a movie you have to go into with like an open mind. It's not for the faint of heart.
No, I mean, I guess that's true.
It makes you feel anxious the whole way through.
It does. It builds
yeah,
anxiety.
a lot of people don't like feeling that way. Like you watch a movie and you're like, wow, that was amazing. I felt anxious the whole way through. Someone else might watch that movie and go, that was fucking awful. I felt so anxious the entire way through.
I guess, I didn't think
you know,
about it
you
that
don't have
way.
that same, like you look at it and you're like, that got a reaction out of me. That means it's a great movie. Someone else goes, that gave me the wrong reaction. That's a bad movie.
I guess that's true. Yeah. I don't know.
It's just like you just said, like art is just subjective.
It's subjective, yeah.
You know?
I guess it was just one of those. The thing that got me the most with the Aronofsky film was was finding out that like Mother got an F, you know, on that list. I was just like, really?
Because you enjoyed it so much.
Oh, dude, I love
that. But the reasons you enjoyed it is probably why a lot of people didn't enjoy it.
I highly recommend, though, people go check out that film. It's on Hulu.
Yeah, like I just said, though, keep in mind it's not for the faint of heart.
No, like it's one of those movies you have to be ready to just sit down, watch it, just take it all in. Don't go in with any expectations.
Yeah. And it's a very artsy film, like all of Aronofsky's films.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I love them though.
Yeah.
I just wish he made more films.
I have an appreciation for them. They're not my favorite movies to sit down and watch.
No.
Like those are the type of movies I can watch once. I don't enjoy to watch them again. I'm not like you where I can't just sit down and watch them when I'm bored.
Oh,
they're not those type of movies. They're movies I appreciate, but I cannot watch them again just for the reasons I just stated. it made me anxious. Like I didn't like just like feeling like that the entire way through. It's just like one of those movies like I can go through once on that ride, but not again.
See, it's so funny with me because like I'm somebody who has issues with anxiety in my own life, you know, and I get anxiety attacks just like the next, you know, millennial Gen Z are around. But for whatever reason, because I do agree with you, that's Aronofsky's fucking calling, is making anxious, you know, fucking films. But for whatever reason, I love that shit. Like all the dark, gritty, anxious kind of like films that are out there, I'm just like, give them to me. Just give them all to me. I love, because like I said with Aronofsky's films, I can rewatch that shit. I've rewatched all of his films multiple times. You know, whereas like, you know, you can't do that.
I've watched Black Swan all the way through once. I've watched Mother all the way through twice, and that's only because I watched it again with friends.
Oh, did you? What did your friends think of it?
It wasn't their kind of movie. I told them it
wasn't their kind of movie.
I told them going into it the same thing I just said. Like I'd like go into it with an open mind, and they're like, "All right." I was like, "It's a weird movie. It's got a weird message behind it, like the story it's being told." But I mean, when we went into it watching, I remember you kept telling me, you're just like, it's a story, you know. It's a story, you know. Well, and I'm like, what story do you... I know a lot of stories. I've heard a lot of stories in my life. I think at this time I was, like 22. I was like, I'm 22 years old. I've heard a lot of stories, Adam.
But when you couldn't figure it out and I finally told you what it was based off of, it was a big, like whoa moment, right?
Oh yeah, well, like I got it then,
you know.
But
yeah,
like a story,
the reason, because I do that with everybody who I make watch it the first time, and the reason why I do that is because, so when I went to go, another reason why I like Aronofsky is his trailers don't give away shit about his movies. You know, like I remember when Black Swan came out, all you knew was the movie was about a fucking ballerina played by Natalie Portman, right? Yeah. And it was the same thing with Mother. I think the only thing that was in the trailer for Mother was Jennifer Lawrence like bending over, screaming in like agony, and that was it. And then it said Mother on the screen. That was the trailer for it. You know, so. Yeah. So when Justin and I went to go see it,
I wonder if him and Jennifer Lawrence are still together.
That's a good question. I'm not sure, because I know they started dating after that movie.
Yeah. Anyway, so when you and Justin went to go see it,
so when Justin and I went to go see it, we went in theaters to see it, and like I said, neither one of us knew anything about the movie or what it was about. Nothing. And then I remember the moment it happened, when all of a sudden I'm watching it, it also clicked to me of what the fuck like the movie was about and what the story was it was telling. And I remember it was just such this like, like holy shit. Cause like all of a sudden the movie went from being this thing that I was like still trying to kind of like figure out and piece together and understand why, like what was happening. And then once I was able to figure out what story they were portraying, all of a sudden it was just like, it made the movie like a 5,000 times better to me, because now I was like, okay, so because now you're like, all right, well, how are they going to depict this part from the book into this movie? How are they going to depict this part from the story into the movie? Yeah, you know, and then that became very interesting to watch and shit. But anyways, if you guys want to watch Mother, it's on Hulu. You guys should check it out. But like Thomas said, you know, be fucking ready for it. Yeah. And then if you do watch it, comment it and tell us if you know what the story's about, you know, because I'm curious if you guys figure it out. But anyways, that's my rant about Star Wars and Mother.
Darren Aronofsky. Yeah, that's another thing during this quarantine. We've just been watching a lot of movies.
A lot of movies.
I'm
trying to think, like, what's something...
We watched Harley Quinn.
Yeah, let's talk about Harley Quinn for a
Harley
second.
Quinn. Harley Quinn got a lot of shit.
Yeah, talk a little bit about the criticism it got first.
Okay, so I was hearing a lot of stuff about the emancipation of Harley Quinn, or the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey. I was hearing so much crap talked about this movie, and it wasn't doing well in theaters even before the quarantine hit, and a lot of people were saying that it was just they they were just really trying to push the feminist message, and they were just like overly shitting on men is what I was hearing. You know, and I wasn't really surprised hearing that. I was like,
it's like, it's Hollywood. Of course,
I was like, well, it's a woman power movie, you know, and that's the popular thing to do now is like, you know, shit on white men, Republicans, whatever have you. You know, so I wasn't surprised. So we rented it the other night and we watched it.
And we went in fully prepared to be like,
I was fully prepared for what
people
people were telling me because like I said, I was not surprised when I heard that. So went into it fully prepared for that and didn't see it. You know, I saw bad guys being bad guys, being assholes. That's what bad guys do.
That's what killed me about it was just that, like, there were like all the bad guys in there were men, yes, but which is typical in real life anyway. And then they were being assholes, and I was like, okay, well, and bad guys are being bad.
Any more, you know. They weren't being any more assholes than I've seen in any other movie. You know, what have you? You know, they weren't being nice to women. Well, bad guys aren't usually nice to women. But there were guys in there that were like nice guys. Like it's not like they were non-existent in the movie where every single guy in there was just, you know, trash. And that's all I heard about it was just every guy in there was trash. And I saw it and I was pleasantly surprised. I actually enjoyed the movie.
I did too.
I came out of it and I was like, that was a good movie. Yeah, it was a woman power movie. But it wasn't crapping on men the entire time.
Well, and that's what I actually really liked about the movie too. Was like, I'm sorry, ladies, but all the fucking girl power movies you guys have had like prior to this have been fucking dumb, and they're dumb for a few reasons. One, because they're all fucking remakes of something that already existed with men, and then you're remaking them with women.
True.
So already then, not only remakes, but you're remaking classics.
What men want. Overboard.
Overboard.
Or Charlie's Angels was always a women's power movie.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. I can't tell you why that one didn't do well.
Which one?
Charlie's Angels.
Charlie's Angels? Yeah, I didn't see that one.
I didn't see it. I don't know why it didn't do well. But
I have seen the others.
I heard the same stuff I heard about Harley Quinn. But I liked Harley Quinn. Yeah. So maybe I'd be surprised.
But I have seen the other ones, like the Overboard and Ghostbusters and
just crappy remakes.
And that's just it. They're crappy remakes, but because you're trying to market them as these like girl power movies, it just comes off totally wrong because now people are misinterpreting what it means to make a bad movie, and then they're what's the word I'm looking for? They're like blending that with it being a lady power movie. They're trying to say, oh, it's not doing well because it's a girl power movie. No, that's not why.
I don't think it's doing well because it's like trying to overly push a message.
Yes.
Like I didn't get that from Harley Quinn. I just got a movie about, you know, powerful women. But I didn't get like a message. I didn't feel like they were trying to push a message the whole time. I didn't get that from it. Exactly. I feel like that's exactly what we're getting from these other movies. They're trying to overly push this message, and people don't want to be yelled at about, you know, misogyny and crap like that, you know, while they're trying to be entertained.
Well, and not just that, but when you try to push a message too much, regardless of what the message is, when you try to push a message too much in movies, what happens is you miss out on the story of it. I watched there's a YouTuber who does you've probably heard of him. He does like cinema sins. So he plays like through a movie and he goes through like all the bullshit. He analyzes it. He goes through all the bullshit.
I might have seen one of his videos. I don't know names.
But anyways, so he did one for Ghostbusters, you know, and he even said at the beginning, he goes, look, I was a total advocate for having an all-girls Ghostbusters. Like, I was super excited for it. I loved the cast that they had and everything. And he goes, but having said that, here we go. And then he goes through all the cinema, and all the things that he was critiquing on it were all just weird plot hole things of the story that could have been totally like easily fixed, you know, through writing.
You gotta watch that after we're done with this.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I actually watched it before this, so it was more fresh in my mind because it was like a year ago when I watched it. But it was like little things, like why would she be asking this question when she already had a book that answered it, or why is she doing this when earlier she said that? So like everything that he was critiquing was story wise.
They're not making a movie to make a movie. They're making a movie to send a message, and that's the problem.
At least that's what it feels like, for sure.
That's exactly what it feels like.
Absolutely. But I also think that's gonna be the death of Hollywood and all this like really far leftist kind of like ideology. It's like, guys, there has to be a middle ground. You gotta find it. Start looking for it.
We're swinging way too far the other direction now.
Both directions, man. We're just a constant pendulum doing this. It's just like, come on, just both sides. Like, there's a middle ground there, I promise you. But you both gotta at least try to look for it.
Yeah,
you know.
And you know, you said it the other day. I feel like people are finally just starting to wake up to it and just finally starting to realize that this is all, you know, pointless and we need to start actually focusing on real crap.
Well, it's not only pointless, but there are accusations being made now without merit. Like the most recent one is people right now are protesting the quarantine. You know, you have people who are going to these Capitol buildings in different states and saying
protesting a quarantine. That's like an oxymoron.
Yeah, right. And what's ironic is some of them are like going to these wearing face masks and shit. So that's the funniest part. But anyways, they're going to these things, you know, trying to say that the coronavirus is a hoax, trying to say that this quarantine thing is bullshit. They all want to be integrated back into life again, right? And I see a lot of people who will make posts about these protesters on Facebook, and all of them are like, look at these stupid conservatives. Look at these Republicans protesting. And I'm just sitting here reading all these posts and I'm going, at what point was it confirmed that every single person at these protests had conservative ideologies?
Yeah.
Like, who said that? Who confirmed that?
Yeah.
Did you guys go to these protests and make a fucking census to find out? So like that's getting dangerous because now you're saying, oh, well, this seems like right-wing behavior, or it happens the other way. Oh, this seems like left-wing behavior, when there's not even anything that's pointing to that at all, except for just your beliefs, you know? And for all we know, the people doing this, they could be liberals, or it could be half and half. Maybe it's more conservatives, but maybe there's some liberals sprinkled in there. I don't know.
We should just stop assuming everything by red and blue.
Yeah.
And just start looking at things for what they are and stop trying to categorize
Stop
them.
being red and blue and start being purple.
Just stop trying to define it all and let's just talk about things for what they are.
Yeah.
Because like it goes with like people like the conservatives you see on YouTube that are interviewing people and giving Trump facts, but they are presenting them as Obama facts, and people are just like, yes, I like this.
Yeah,
you know, and
they do that every year.
That's what I mean.
Or every election year.
You categorize something as red or blue, and people automatically have a switch in their brain of how they're going to think about it.
Yeah,
like we have to stop categorizing everything in this way, so we can actually just talk about things for what they are.
Yeah, and
then we can actually start having rational conversations.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you know, you say, you know. I could say, you know, world peace was, you know, just world peace was had today, but Trump was behind it, and you go bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I don't care if I present you all the facts in the world, you automatically have this switch in your brain, you know, it's just that red and blue, you know, and it, like with anything, guys, it goes both ways. You know, I feel like I always have to keep saying that.
I do the same thing.
It goes both ways, guys. We're never taking sides here. That's exactly what I'm freaking talking about.
Yeah.
It was like, don't categorize crap as red and blue. Let's just like start talking about stuff.
Yeah.
And ignore what side we stand on.
And people, and I was talking to you about this morning, but people are just so fucking angry, man. Like, I have a couple friends on my Facebook who, you know, I'm not going to say which way they lean, but I'll go onto their Facebook page and all of their posts have to do with whatever their particular color is talking about at that point. And that's all of their posts. And it's always followed with their own comments of just, you know, these little rants and stuff like that. And I'll go through these pages sometimes and I'll read these and I'm just like, oh my word, like, you're such an angry person.
Yeah.
Like, you're just so, like, you're going to turn gray before you're 30.
Doesn't even affect them.
What?
Stuff that doesn't even affect them.
Yeah.
Stuff that probably would never affect them, but they just have to be heard somehow. And
yeah.
honestly, I was saying it earlier. I think a big part of that is just some people are just bored.
Yeah.
Some people have nothing else to do. They're just watching the news and looking on Facebook and wanting to share an opinion because they've got nothing else to do.
And I think people need to realize too that this is just my personal opinion from what I've seen of the news outlets is, guys, fake news exists, but here's the thing. It doesn't exist on the left or the right. It's all fucking fake news.
It's all.
I don't care if you're watching CNN. I don't care if you're watching Fox, MSNBC, reading the fucking New York. I'm sorry, but like nobody fucking knows.
You see that press conference?
If these past few years have told me anything, it's that nobody fucking knows. This scientist says this, but this scientist said this. Well, this researcher said this. Well, this expert said this. Okay, so nobody knows. Like that's the consensus I get from all of this, the past few years especially. It's just like, guys, everyone needs to stop fucking arguing because clearly nobody knows what the fuck they're talking about. You know, and I'm starting to even doubt if any of these experts on either side arguing either point know what they're talking about, because you do have experts on both sides that say this or this, or at least that's what the news media outlets are portraying. You know, they all have their experts, you know, exploiting their own fucking narrative. So it's just like, okay, well, I'm just not going to listen to any of it right now. And I'm just going to focus on to what immediately affects my life and the people around me that I care about. You know, and if whatever views don't line up with that, well, then those are the views I'm going to choose to, you know, put by the wayside. I'm going to focus on something else. Yeah. I think that's what everybody needs to do. Just focus on you, focus on the people around you that you care about, and leave the other stuff to people who it more immediately affects. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just, leave it to the people it's actually affecting that actually have, you know, knowledge and you know what they're talking about. Like we were talking about this the other day, just people bringing up stuff they just don't have the knowledge to be giving an opinion on, and they, you know, they read an article or two and then they think they're an expert. That really needs to stop too. Like, you know, leave it like people who don't work in the stock market, you know, yelling about the stock market. It's like, leave it to the people who work in the stock market to have an opinion on it. Yeah. But you yelling about it, no one wants to listen to you because you have no grounds for what you're saying and you're not getting anything across, and you just sound like an idiot and you're just wasting your breath and getting yourself worked up. So relax, leave it to the people who have knowledge to be complaining about this stuff. And like you just said, complain about stuff that affects you. Yeah. But if it doesn't affect you, don't worry about it, and stop, you know, bleeding people's ears with useless information that you picked up online that's probably 75% incorrect anyway. Yeah. Well, and the thing is too, I understand that, like, look, I understand that comment might be a little insensitive, because I can already see the arguments now of like, well, there's so much shit happening in the world, you have to stand up to injustices, and just because it doesn't immediately affect you doesn't mean, like, that just means you don't care about the people it does affect. And it's like, you know what, maybe that does make me insensitive, but I'm sorry, but like, I only have so much fucking bandwidth, and you have to think about what's gonna get stuff accomplished. Yes. You know, it doesn't matter, you know, I'm sorry, guys. It doesn't matter all the time what's right and what's wrong. Yeah. It matters what's efficient, what's productive, what's going to get things done and moving, you know, because at the end of the day, that's what's good. Yeah. And that's what's positive, and that's what you want, you know. But let's stop going, you know, I'm standing up because it's like the right thing to do. But is it going to do anything? Is it productive? Is it efficient? Well, then it's not doing anything. You can call it good all you want, but you're just, at the end of the day, you're just screaming and no one's listening. That's a good point. Yeah. It's, you know, let's stop looking in this right and wrong, you know. Let's look at what's going to get us moving through the shit. Yeah. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. And like I said, I do think we're getting to that point again, you know, that there has to be these periods of extremism in order to get to a period of bliss, for lack of a better word, you know? So I do think we are getting back there, but fuck, dude, it's been an exhausting fucking ride. Yeah. I'm exhausted. I just, look, at this point,
anything that's going to help this fucking quarantine end faster, I'm fucking down with. Okay. But so if that means that quarantine for a little longer is what's going to make the quarantine end faster in the long run, then fine, I'll fucking stay in the house for longer. But fuck, dude, I'm like, you do not realize how much, or at least me, I didn't realize how much I missed going out and going to socialize with people and stuff until it was fucking stripped away from me and I couldn't do it anymore. You know,
I miss going to work more than anything. I miss having, you know, that part of my day, you know, going, having my job, seeing my work friends, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, my job is basically my main source of socializing. So I guess same thing for me is I do miss my socializing. I miss going to work and seeing everybody. And oh man, we live in one of the most sociable cities
I know,
in the U.S.
Las Vegas, yeah.
And yet we're so isolated.
I mean, it's what scares me is like there are talks and everything about, and again, this is what I mean about the nobody knowing what the fuck they're talking about, because I've read some articles that are like, oh, the worst is behind us. And then I've read other ones that say that this is going to go to 2022 or could possibly go to 2022. And mind you, all of these articles fucking source experts, quote unquote, you know? So I
don't think that'll happen.
I don't
really
think it'll.
hope not.
No, I don't think it'll go to 2022. But I do worry about it lasting the rest of this year.
I think the worst would be it lasting to the end of summer. I do not think I just cannot see it going the whole year.
Well, the problem
I think the furthest it would go is to the end of the summer because they're already talking about opening up Vegas at the beginning of May.
That's true, but what sounds like is going to be more likely right now is it looks like what they're going to end up doing is opening up everything during, or at least partly, you know, during the warmer months. And then when it gets colder again, they're going to start quarantining again because they think that this virus is like the cold and flu where it's seasonal. So when they think there's going to be a new spike of it, they're going to do it again at the end of the year. But like I said, but like what? So you're going to do that every fucking year? Every year you're going to do that? Like, I
don't know. I'm really curious just to see the aftermath.
Yeah.
When this quarantine does lift.
Well,
because I guarantee you things are not going back to normal.
Oh no. Part of me worries we're going to go into another depression.
It does look like it's heading that way. I don't even know what that would entail for us. I have no idea what that would even mean because, I mean, I would assume I'd still get unemployment checks.
I don't think. Well, I don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
Unemployment wasn't around in the
happen.
30s, so that wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Back
all right.
then.
Someone find me some 90-year-old, or I guess I'd need 100-year-old for them to have any memory of it, huh? Someone find me 100-year-old person to talk to about what it's like when the Great Depression hits.
Oh, my word. It's a little scary. I mean, that's
weird.
There was a video I saw where somebody was showing, I don't know what it was, but it was one of those, you know, like charts of, what do they call it? The graphs, the flow charts that show like the up and down of like the stock market. It's like, oh, it's up, now it's down. Oh, it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down.
Line graph.
Yeah, there you go. That one. So somebody
the graph with the line on it. That one.
I had a brain fart. Fuck you. But anyways, so somebody was showing that. It was showing like what it was back in before the Great Depression and where we are at now, and like the lines were almost fucking like over, like just right on top of each other. And then, you know, and then it showed how in the Great Depression, you know, it slammed like this.
Oh, yeah. And they just showed the similarities between what's happening now. Yeah. It does look like that pattern.
But then I also heard talks that like Trump wanted to give or was thinking about possibly giving everybody like a stimulus check every month for like 6 months or something like that.
I heard that too. I'm like, how are you going to make that happen,
as somebody who's unemployed, I will happily take the $2,000 every month.
Where is that coming from?
Yeah. Yeah, that's another weird thing. Like, because they were
all
trying
this
to
money coming from?
Because Pelosi tweeted something and was like, hey, just so everybody knows about their stimulus checks, like you don't have to pay taxes on it. You don't have to pay it back at all. And was just going through all these, like, basically saying like, hey, the money is yours. Do what you want with it. And so I'm just like, all right, well, like, I mean, that's a lot of money the government's just fucking giving to people.
Yeah.
Like, especially if you're going to give like $2,000 to everybody for 6 fucking months. Like, yeah, where the fuck is it coming from? Are you just pulling it out of your ass?
When Trump's like pulling it from his own bank account.
Yeah, right. I mean, I guess you could afford it,
right? For like a little bit, maybe. Maybe once he could afford like one round. He's like, I got this one, guys.
I got this one.
It's on me.
Drinks are on me today. Do it at home. Oh, dude.
Imagine the people in this world that are rich enough. Like, if they really wanted to, they're like, hey, United States, drinks are on me. Checks are coming. And he just sends everyone enough just for a drink. I'm like, hey, drinks are on me.
I saw this, this just reminded me of this funny TikTok I saw. And it was because you only got your stimulus like check if, so if you're over the age of 18, you only got the stimulus check if your parents haven't claimed you on their taxes as a dependent. And it was this TikTok of this girl who was filming her older brother, like going up to her parents asking like, did you guys claim me as a dependent? And they were like, I can't remember what, I think you couldn't hear what they were saying or something, but he was like, I haven't lived here for 5 years. Because why are you, I can't get money now because you claim me as a dependent. And I was just like, ooh, I wonder how many times that's fucking happening.
Oh,
like how many
gosh.
parents are fucking doing that shit.
Oh, man. Oh, I bet those kids are pissed.
I still need to do my taxes. I haven't done them yet.
I just got my tax refund to date.
I know. See, I still owe the IRS money, so I'm just like, I'm not in a rush because I know I'm not getting anything.
No,
it's just going to, I guess, help pay off my debt faster. But
I'm going to go spend it and get my car fixed up.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, my car's been fucked up for a while, but I'll fix it eventually. It's not like I have anywhere to fucking drive it to right now.
Right. Oh, bro. Oh, it's been a long quarantine so far. Was it almost like 2 months now?
Yeah.
We're coming up on 2 months.
Almost 2 months.
Oh my gosh, or like probably at 2 months, or
maybe
a month.
I was gonna
say,
I think technically, I think it's actually less than a month because
technically I think it's a month because I think I got laid off from work March 15th.
But that's not when quarantine officially
I was about
started.
to say quarantine started like 2-3 days later.
Oh, did it officially?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm thinking it's been a month now. It feels like 2 months though. Jeez.
Oh, it feels like a long time.
Oh, and I was also injured, so I wasn't going to work before that anyway. So it feels like even longer for me. The only thing that changed is I don't go to physical therapy every day now.
Right. Well, like one thing, like you don't realize how much you can actually get done within like certain time periods until you're kind of in these types of situations. One thing I was looking at the other day is I was going through old TikToks that I made, and I'd be like looking, and when you see an old TikTok you make or just an old video in general, sometimes you're able to be like, oh, I remember that day. I remember what I was doing that day when I made this TikTok or when I made this video. And I was going through some of my older videos and I'd be like, oh yeah, I remember that day and everything. And then all of a sudden I'd be like, oh, that was a week and a half ago. Like, but for whatever reason, it just feels like it was like 3 months ago when I made it, and
because all we do is this
is this right now. Yeah. I mean, and like we said, guys, this is the reason why it's, been a month since our last podcast. Even the podcast that didn't end up getting made was still like 3 weeks ago when we did it.
Yeah.
But it's just like it's just been so hard to fucking find content. I mean, even now, all we've talked about was quarantine and the movies we watched during quarantine and TikTok.
Well, that's basically all we've been doing. I've been practicing some piano.
That's right.
That's good. We practice Spanish every morning.
Yep.
Every morning we wake up and we have a cup of coffee. I keep telling him we got to do a podcast in the morning with our coffee because we always get into like conversation in the morning. Like we have our coffee, we do our Spanish, and then we have a talk.
Well, the only reason why we had him was because we get Oh, excuse me. It was because we kept thinking we were going to have guests. Excuse me, I keep having the hiccups, but we kept thinking we were going to have a guest.
Which hopefully we will soon.
Yes, hopefully we will soon. Don't worry, nobody's going to have fucking coronavirus. And we're going to make sure they're sitting 6 feet away from us when they come here. But but we're still trying to get like guests and everything for the podcast right now, and hopefully continue with it the best we can and make it as enjoyable and such as we can for you guys. But
best way we can. But I mean, we're probably not doing anything much different than you, but we do live in an apartment. I'm jealous of all the friends I see who have backyards and houses and stuff, and they're building forts in their homes or dumb stuff like that. We don't really have the room for that. Or they're hanging outside at their pool going, oh man, quarantine.
I know I've
we're
seen
stuck
a lot of
in
videos
a 1,200-foot apartment.
I know I've seen a lot of videos of people like hanging out in like a jacuzzis and shit like that. I'm just like, fuck you, man.
Yeah.
This is why everyone's pissed off at the celebrities right now, talking about how shitty quarantine is for them.
Yeah, was it Justin Timberlake's getting a lot of crap right now because he said in an interview something about it being hard being a 24-hour parent. Oh, boo-hoo, life's so hard. Well, he's quarantined on his large mansion in like Montana or something.
Yeah.
And now he has to be around his 5-year-old son all the time.
But yeah, he's catching a lot of flack for that.
And I'm sure he didn't mean it as anything, but but the celebrities are so detached from the rest of regular humanity, and
you can't blame them, but at the same time, like they can't blame us when we get like sometimes
can't blame
we have
us
to
for
keep
getting
them in
upset.
check, it's
like think about what you say. It's like the rest of the world is a 24-hour parent. We don't have money to afford nannies and stuff all the time, and
it's whatnot. Especially people like JT, who had been like, because he was with Britney Spears on the Mickey Mouse Club when he was like 10.
Yeah.
So he truly has only known fame.
Yeah. So
it's like, I get it, but at the same time, it's like, shut your fucking mouth.
Yeah.
Or who was it? Gal Gadot did that thing with where she did Imagine John Lennon's, but had like all the celebrities. Did you hear about that?
No.
So Gal Gadot, this was like a month or two ago, but she did this thing where she started singing the song Imagine by John Lennon, and then she had other celebrities join in. Mm-hmm. So then they spliced this video together of all of them singing Imagine, different parts of it, right?
Yeah.
And people gave her and all the celebrities a lot of fucking shit for that.
Why?
Well, because it had to do with like the quarantine and the coronavirus and everything. And it was the same thing with like JT, where it's like, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Like,
you're all chilling in your mansions.
Well, and it's the lyrics of the song too. Like there are lyrics in the song that are like, imagine there's no heaven. So you're saying that, well, people are fucking dying. Well, people are losing their grandparents and their parents and shit because of coronavirus. Mm-hmm. There's another one that's like, imagine there's no possessions and things like that. It's like, well, you guys are all fucking celebrities.
And it's like on one hand, they're like, oh, well, like I'll try and spread some positivity, but it's like people don't want it from you.
Yeah.
It's like, because you have zero clue what anyone's going through more than anyone else. Like you have zero clue because you're so detached. You're living up in the bougie, like, oh, wow, you can't go to your regular, day clubs.
Well, and like I said,
I don't know.
Well, and like
that
I
sounds
said,
a little pretentious, but it's just like, God, guys, just realize who you are and the difference between you and everyone else.
Yeah, and like I said, the intentions are there. The good intentions are there. I get it. But like you said, as a celebrity, you kind of have to stop, take a step back sometimes and be like, is this really appropriate for the other 99.9% of people in the world who are not in my position?
Yeah. If I was like in that position, I wouldn't feel like I had the position to tell anyone and anything about staying calm or being healthy or what have you. I'd be like,
I wouldn't tell
I have
people,
no room to talk.
I wouldn't tell people who to vote for.
Yeah.
I wouldn't none of that shit.
Keanu Reeves myself, just like, I'm gonna be over here, guys. Make my movies.
And again, that and kind of going back full circle here, that's it comes back to focusing on yourself and the people around you that you care about and things like that. Because when you have these celebrities who are telling people like, who to vote for, it's like, we're not saying that you don't have a voice, and you don't get, a vote of who to vote for, but you also have to understand that regardless of who gets elected, your life does not change. No. Period. It doesn't. You can argue that point
more than anyone else. Your life does not change.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Whereas everyone else's does, or could, I should say.
Yeah.
But just chill the fuck out. I think I end every podcast telling people to just chill the fuck out, because holy shit, dude, people just get so fucking angry.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even post a joke.
You get angry.
Yeah.
People are so angry.
I can't even
Stop it.
Like, I can't even post a joke on Facebook anymore without people getting on my fucking ass about it anymore. I'm like, bro, it's fucking Facebook. Calm down. We're going to get through this.
I like that Chris D'Elia news special where he's just like, what's funny about all the comedians getting all this crap? He's like, we're fucking joking.
It's fucking true.
It's so true. I was like, wow.
way to just set the people straight, man.
Right.
All right. Well, let's go ahead. We're at an hour now. Let's go ahead and end this here.
Right.
Thank you so much, guys, for listening to us. You guys can find us on Instagram. We used so really quick. We used to have a Hardly Millennial Instagram. The reason why I stopped posting everything on there was just because I thought it was easier for people to just follow our individual Instagrams. But I don't know if. But we talked a little bit today about possibly reopening that and posting more on that particular account. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that on the screen. You can actually just look it up. Just look up Hardly Millennial on Instagram and you'll find it.
And we're probably going to begin TikTok started joint with Hardly Millennial.
Oh, yeah. So we have our individual TikTok accounts right now that we make videos on, and you guys are more than welcome to follow us on that. I'll go ahead and put it up on the screen if you guys want to listen to it. Or, I forgot. Some people don't watch the podcast. They just listen to it. So my TikTok is, I think, just AR Hansen, but I think you just search Adam Hansen and you'll find it. And I think the same thing goes for Thomas. Yeah. Same thing with the Instagram accounts. Yeah. And same thing with the Instagram accounts and such. But yeah, like Thomas said, we're going to start making Hardly Millennial TikTok that's going to just be Thomas and I doing, a lot of just like joint content, and then using that also to advertise for like the vlogs and stuff we do in the podcast and everything. So that'll be a good time. And I know we haven't been putting out a lot of content lately, but like we have been talking, and we do have plans to get more stuff out and everything. Just like I said, now with quarantine, it's been a little hard sometimes.
It's just throwing us through a loop like it has with anyone, but we're working on it, guys.
Yeah, we're working on it, guys. All right. Well, any final thoughts, Thomas?
No, just stay safe out there, guys. Take a deep breath and smile a bit because life's too short.
Yep. That's well put. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Have a lovely rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye.